Alright, welcome back everybody. We are doing part 2 of similar triangle proofs. Now I really hope that this is going to be absolutely easy for you. And the reason is because you've already done this. So let's go through what we're going to do, like the steps, review it. However, we are going to cut some things out, and we're only going to use one reason every single time to prove the triangles are similar. So let's start with some hints that we should copy down first, and then I'm only going to show you 1 or 2 examples. That's it. So this should be short, sweet, and to the point. Alright, so first hint is that obviously you're going to start with writing down the given. Okay, and after you write down the given, you want to look for 2 similar angles. Okay, because we are going to prove that these are similar using AA every time because it is the shortest. So the second thing, after you write down the given, you're going to look for 2 similar angles to mark. So we're going to use AA every time. So the angle things that you're going to be looking for is this. You want to look for vertical. If you have vertical, mark those. If you have reflexive, and I'll show you what all of this is going to look like. Then the other thing you want to look for is if you have parallel lines. So if you have parallel lines in the given, what that means is that you probably have alternate interior angles that you can mark. Or you may have corresponding angles that you can mark. So I'm not saying that all of these are in every picture that you use, but these 4 are the most common, probably the only ones that you're going to use in your proof. So look for those, and then once you find 2 pairs, that's all you need is 2 pairs, you're going to write the 2 congruent parts. Okay, so after you do that, you're going to write the 2 similar parts like we did before, and then last but not least is you are going to write a triangle congruent statement, which is the proof. So write triangle congruent statement, and then the reason is always going to be AA. So that should hopefully be easy for you. So those 4 steps, and they're going to have 4 steps every single time. So I'm going to show you 2 examples. I'll give you a second to copy this down, and then we can start doing our 2-column proof. Alright, so what I did is I already started this for you, and I'm going to do the skeleton of the proof because, like I said, they are always going to have the same number of steps. It's always going to be 4. So the first one is always your given. Number 2 and 3 are the angle pairs that you marked. So hopefully you're looking at this picture and you're seeing that you have vertical angles. So you're going to mark this right here. The second thing then is to look at your given. Remember I told you that in the given, you want to see what they give you. So they gave you that you have parallel lines. So FU is parallel to KY. Now it doesn't mean that they're equal. It means that they're parallel. And what that means is that they make those angles that I talked about previously right here. Either you have alternate interior or you have corresponding angles because of the parallel lines. Not that they're equal. So let's come back to it. So here, if you can kind of visualize this, you have your parallel lines, and then you have a transversal, which is UK. So your alternate interior angles are going to be right here at U and at K. So you have your 2 angles marked. You don't have to mark the third because I explained already if you have 2, you automatically have 3, so don't waste the time. So let's go to naming our 2 congruent parts. So we named angle N is congruent to angle N, and that's because they are vertical. And then why did we mark the green angles? Why did we say that U was equal to K? Hopefully you remember it's because of the alternate interior angles. And you can abbreviate that if you want. Okay, so we have our two parts. Now these are congruent because of, not congruent, they are similar because of AA. So you're going to write the proof statement, because that's what you're trying to prove, that triangle FUN is similar to triangle YKN, and that is because of AA, because they have two pairs of angles that are equal. Alright, let's try one more example. Again, I'll give you a second to copy this down. Alright, kind of the same, but yet a little bit different. Same because we have parallel lines again, and we'll see what that means. So we had looked, remember an example in the last video that showed when you have parallel lines and it looks like this, you can visualize that, again, you have a transversal right here. So we don't have alternate interior this time because it doesn't look like a Z. The Z makes it look like alternate interior. These are instead corresponding. So we can mark this C and this R as equal. And that would be our first statement. If we wanted to go ahead and write that down, we would say angle C is congruent to angle R because of corresponding angles. Now there isn't a vertical angle in here. However, there is a reflexive. You may be thinking, well, wait, because isn't reflexive when it looks like this and we have a shared side in the middle? True. However, they could share an angle. So if, let's say, that I went ahead and I separated these two triangles. So I separated this into SCA, and then I separated it and drew out SRE. So basically what they did to draw this was they took triangle SCA, picked it up, and placed it right on top of SRE. Do they have an angle in common? Hopefully you're saying yes, they have S in common. So S right here is the exact same angle in both the top, the small triangle, and the big triangle. That's called reflexive. So we could say that angle S is congruent to angle S, and this is reflexive because they share the same angle and they're like lying on top of each other. Now some of you are thinking, well, couldn't we just have gone ahead and marked A is congruent to E and said corresponding? You could, and you could make it a lot easier, but I wanted to let those of you know that are math nerds out there that there is a reflexive type angle, and that is S right here. So you can choose what you want. You can use both of them as corresponding. You could use one as corresponding, one as reflexive. Okay, what's the last statement then? You need to use your triangle congruent statement. So SCA is similar to triangle SRE, and again the reason is angle angle. So every single time you're going to use angle angle, and those four different angle pairs you might use: reflexive, vertical, corresponding, or alternate interior. So if you can remember those, then you will be in good shape. 4 steps every single time. You got this. Way easier than last time. See you tomorrow. Deuce deuce.